What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new league racing video on the channel. Here today once again for EML F1 eSports Masters Premier Series. We're back at it yet again. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the last video of this around Vietnam, highly recommend you go check that one out. Somehow on our very first crack we actually went out and won the bloody thing, which was absolutely unbelievable. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to do that today, as Zandvoort, it's a tricky track, and I don't know, we're up against some pretty stiff competition, as you can see there. A couple of new drivers in for other teams, S2V with a complete overhaul of their lineup. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Obviously, I've definitely got my eyes on the two S2V guys, CGT as well. And probably Slayer as well there for TTG, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on those guys. I reckon they're going to be a main competition for this race. But yeah, as I was saying, coming into this, I felt somewhat confident. I didn't actually think I was going to win this race, to be honest. I had good pace, but I didn't think it was good enough. Obviously, you know, every driver wants to win. It's always at the back of your thought process, I guess. But yeah, I was really thinking a top 5 was really what I was aiming for. If we could get that, I'd be fairly happy. So yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. I mean, like I said, pace seems okay. It's a hard track to get right this, but it's beautiful when you nail it. So I don't know, hopefully we can nail it for quali and then 36 laps afterwards. But let's get into it and find out. Alright, so here we are in the garage and having a quick look at the weather. It is going to rain for the start of the race. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so this is going to make things interesting.
All set. Everyone clear? Car to track.
Okay, so we'll head out now and try and get a reasonable banker on the board. One thing I will admit straight away to you guys that I've been struggling with basically since day one of playing this game around here is the tyre temperature on the front left. I do not know what to do if I'm, I don't know, being too hard on the tyres or, yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm convinced it's got to be down to the setup now after seeing how this race went. But yeah, we just murder the front left tyre. And I was able to get it sorted for qualifying for this round, but it was still a bit of an issue in the race, which you will see later on. But we crossed the line for our first run of the session. We go P2 with a 108.933. I can guarantee you that will not last. And cutting on to our very next run of the session, we've been bumped all the way back down to P9. FRL takes pole position now on an 8.4. We're going to come across the line and improve down to an 8.7, which promotes us back on to the second row, right behind our Leonis teammate in Harry as well. But then one of the S2V cars comes out and does an 8.3. That's absolutely mental pace. And as you can see, we tried to go out for a third run, didn't really work. Just overcooked it a little bit into late long fast right hander, too early on the turn in. And yeah, we bottled that lap. Luckily I did go for the softer tyre selection, so we do have 4 sets of softs. So we tried to go again and that didn't really work either. Caught the inside curve there at turn 1 and around she goes. We're all the way back down to P8 as well now, which is not too great. Ironically, look who's actually behind us. Old mate Tyler, who we race on Sunday, so interesting to see him here. But anyway, I will be quiet for a few moments, guys, and let you enjoy this lap as we ride on board for our fastest lap of qualifying here for eSports Masters Premier Series around Zandvoort. Enjoy.
30 seconds left in the session.
Alright, we round the final corner, and the run to the line, we're going to improve by about 3.5 tenths, not quite. We go with a 108.426, and that only puts us P5, but we're about a tenth of pole position. This field is insanely close, guys. To say that is actually probably an understatement. Let's have a look at the gaps here, and you can see for yourselves just how stupidly close this was, as we'll load up the results any moment now. Come on, where are we? There we go. So S2V takes pole position, and look how close that is. There are 2 tenths covering the top 10. That is absolutely mental. An improvement of 700ths would have us on pole position, and there was definitely more than 700ths in that lap. So, yeah, not used to that, to be honest. I'm not used to the field being that close, but that was a massive indicator for me that this is going to be a very close race. Qualifying was obviously very crucial. We don't have the greatest track position in the world. I mean, we're in the top 5, so we're still in a reasonable position. But yeah, we definitely probably should be a little bit further up than what we are. But as you can see now, as we are about to head off for the formation lap, it is raining, but we are all starting on dry tyres. So from a qualifying session that was insanely close, now we go to starting this race in the rain on dries. How exciting, people!
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
So off we go for a very sketchy formation lap here at Zandvoort. And yeah, as you can see, it's going to be an interesting one. Tyres are absolutely stone dead cold, and I can say with confidence, as I do remember this quite clearly, it was extremely hard to get temperature in the tyres. As you can see, halfway around the lap, and all 4 are basically still blue, so yeah, we just had no temp in the tyres. You can see I'm weaving like crazy, just trying to get some temp, but they just wouldn't cooperate with me. In the end, I got the rears up to temp. The fronts were just about 2 degrees shy, I think, of getting in the green, so we might struggle down here into turn 1 a little bit, but I imagine that's going to be the same story for everybody. I imagine this first lap to be quite cautious, as nobody knows what the grip levels are really going to be like, and yeah, we're all going to be pioneers, so to speak.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
But anyway, we are all set back on the grid, awaiting the 5 red lights to get round 3 of eSports Masters Premier Series underway here, the Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort. We are starting on dry tyres, and it is raining here. God knows how this is going to go. Hopefully everybody plays it safe and there's no heroes down into turn 1, as that's the last thing you need in conditions like this. But here we go. 3, 4, the 5 red lights are on, and away we go here at Zandvoort. Looks like a pretty decent launch. Can we try and get alongside the S2V car alongside us down into turn 1? Bit of contact made there between the 2 leaders. Slayer looks to try go round the outside. That'll be pretty impressive if he gets that pulled off. I think, does he? Not quite. He's still there. Down into this very awkward left-hander. And Slayer does get the move done. Awesome move by the TDG driver there. Almost got my words muddled up there. Sorry about that. But meanwhile, we maintain P5. Tyler has somehow gotten himself up into 6th from, I don't know, 27th or wherever he started. So good start by the CPI driver there. Obviously, this is strictly a teams championship. So you really do need 2 cars as high up the field as you can possibly get. And I don't think CPI have even scored actually so far this season, which is a real shame, because it's a good team. great bunch of guys, but just haven't had a lot of luck so far this season. But yeah, hopefully that might all change today. They've got Tyler and Lewis behind the wheel for today's race, and obviously I know both of those guys pretty well, Tyler especially, and he's no slouch. But anyway, the end of lap 1 has arrived rather quickly, and yeah, we're dropping off a little bit to the guys in front of us, almost a second behind already. And at this point, as you can see, we get all sideways, just no traction, no rear grip. And yeah, it was at this point where I knew this first part of the race would be a bit sketchy. We get a hit from Tyler on the rear there, as I think the CPI driver was probably a bit quicker than us, but yeah, it's quite hard to pass around here, thankfully. But on to, what are we now, the end of lap 3, as CGT has swapped positions with S2V, so those two have swapped around. And that's about the extent of everything that's gone on over the last lap. Fastest lap 20.5, now 20.1, we come across for a 20.8. So we're like 5 to 7 tenths down a lap, where we're lacking a little bit of speed here.
Full course caution. The safety car is out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Maintain positive delta.
So the safety car has been deployed here at Zandvoort. 4 laps in. The conditions have finally caught out one of the drivers. I think it was one of the TNR guys. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, a bit unfortunate for them, but they'll bounce back next round, no doubt. But anyway, on to the end of lap 6. We're getting ready to go racing once again. Coming up to the final corner, just waiting for the leader to go. We're going to try and time this as best we can to see if we can get a run on the two ahead of us. And we have, as a matter of fact, timed that rather well. We are right up behind the CGT car. Can we try and have a look down into turn 1? Tyler right behind us as well. But look at the straight line speed of that thing. What? Okay. So, major deficit for us. We are not good in a straight line. And considering we suffer with front tyre temp issues, then being slow on the straights is just another kick in the teeth for us. So, yeah, it was at this point where the issue with the front left did start to affect us a little bit. You can't see it right now, obviously, but this time, next lap, I think, was when it really started to rear its ugly head. As I said, I really don't know what to do. The right front and the rears are fine, but the left front just overheats massively. I'm just not sure what to do about it. But anyway, we are right under the back of the car directly ahead of us. Tyler still there behind us, as well as Lewis. So both CPI guys on to score solid points at the moment, which will be great for them to finally get their season rolling. But first lap after the restart, going good so far. As we continue to follow the top 4, just trying to stay with them here. I didn't want to lose DRS, as that would have just absolutely killed our race. But coming on to lap 12, is anyone going to dive in? Yes, Slayer, he's going to be the first to blink, so we follow him in here. And I make a last minute strategy change as well. I was originally set to go onto the hards, but I changed that up, and we are going to go onto the medium tyres. Now, my thinking behind this was, if the tyre temperatures, if the tyre temps weren't an issue, then I could really make use of this medium rubber, and if I could clear Slayer, that might get me clear of the CGT car as well, and then I could be right onto the back of the S2V cars and maybe make something happen there. In basic terms, I just tried to do something different, because if we run the hards, it was almost just a set guarantee we were going to be stuck behind these guys for the entire race, so we had to try something different. Onto lap 14, Slayer with a real bad run. We try and look for a move, but he covers it off very nicely there. Just left us no room. And oh my god, we nearly touched it there. That would have been disastrous if we had made proper contact there. That would have sent him off into Narnia and probably given us front wing damage as well. And as you can see there, even on a harder tyre like the mediums, we're still getting to 103, 104 on the front left, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It was really frustrating at the point in time of doing this race as well, because I just wasn't sure, you know, what to do differently. It's got to be in the setup, but yeah, I'm not too sure what to do. But lap 15, Slayer gets that right-hander horribly wrong, and for the first time we have a chance to get by. He's still there on the outside. He'll have the inside for this left-hander. We just about leave him enough space right around the outside, but he does now have DRS down this little mini back straight. Is he going to try hang it around the outside? Yes, he is. We try and fend him off. We go very deep. Contact made there, as I think we may have forced him off into the gravel a little bit there. But we get away with it, both of us luckily, and Slayer maintains P12 on track. Now, if anything, that was probably a bit dodgy from both of us, because it's just cost us both time, and it's just not doing either of us any favours. But anyway, half race distance now, and I think that is the CGT car just up the road there, with Cedric in between himself and Slayer. Now, I think Cedric is yet to pit, so he is effectively out of position, but obviously he's still there. He doesn't have blue flag, so we still legitimately have to try and pass him. Just checking in here on Slayer, seeing what the penalty situation was, and yeah, he didn't have anything, which was a bit of a pain. But anyway, a little lock up there from him. Well, I say little, there was a massive lock up there in the turn one. Lewis set the fastest lap of the race behind us as well, so the CPI car coming alive behind us here in the back half of the race. Across the line to start lap 23, new PB 111.9. Slayer looks to the inside of Cedric there. Very, very close, a little bit of contact made. We're going to try and see if we can follow through here. Slayer goes very high up the banking there, cuts back down, bit of contact made, and well, once again we make contact with Slayer. Once again, luckily no front wing damage, and yeah, that was really our only chance to try and make a move if we were going to, and unfortunately it didn't quite work. On to lap 25, Slayer finally gets the move done on Cedric, and that promotes him up into P6. We're going to now try and follow suit down the front straight. On the start of lap 26, we send it down the inside of the Mentalism car, side by side on the exit. We are going to have the inside line for this right-hander, and we get the move done. That's up to P7, still within DRS range, crucially, of Slayer, which is the main thing. We cannot afford to lose that DRS, otherwise that is really going to hurt any chance we have of gaining any more positions in this race. And makes a little mistake through that long right-hander there, does the TTG driver, and that just allows us to close up ever so slightly. And as you can see, the effective leaders aren't too far away either. You can see CGT right there, as well as the two S2V cars, so we're not exactly a mile off this battle for the lead either. And after everybody made their stops, we once again find ourselves in P5. Now, Kagino behind us, he also went for the medium strategy, but as you can see, it was at that point right there where my heart kind of broke a little bit, because we have 4 laps to go here and the tyres are in the 70% window, and it was at that point I knew we needed to back it down and just make sure we come home with P5, because unless something massively kicked off or there was an accident in front of us, then we were not going to challenge those top 4. We tried to go for an alternate strategy, see if it would pay off. Unfortunately, with the tyre temp issue, I don't think it was solely down to that. It certainly didn't help our cause, but in general, I just don't think we were quite fast enough today. Yeah, just put that down to, you know, not enough work on the setup. Zandvoort, obviously, very tricky track to get right, and well, I don't know, maybe even if we had a bit better track position, would have been interesting to see what we could have done, but with the lack of straight line speed we also had, yeah, I don't think we would have been able to do much in terms of defending either. It was hard enough trying to attack. But anyway, S2V are going to come home with a 1-2 finish here at Zandvoort by the looks of it, so that will do wonders for them in the championship. TTG will come home third, followed by CGT in fourth. But we are going to come around the final corner for the Leonis Racing. And while it's not the highs of last round at Vietnam, it's still a top 5. And, you know, around a place like this, I'll take it. Good stuff. Alrighty, so there we go, guys. eSports Masters Premier Series done and dusted here for round 3 at the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. My personal thoughts on that race, like, I'm happy with a P5. I mean, yeah, look at the competition we're up against. I mean, this is some top-notch competition, some of the best you could probably find. And, you know, we're mixing in right at the front, which is bloody awesome. But yeah, I don't know, I definitely felt like there was something more in that race. Maybe if we had gone for an undercut and put the hard tyres on, could we have cleared Slayer? And then who knows what might have opened up for us further on. But anyway, Harry, the other Leonis car, he comes home in P10, so double top 10 finish for Leonis. And I think from memory, that does move us up to P4 in the championship, so we'll cut over and have a look at that now. And yes, it does. We jump up ahead of Mentalism into 4th position now, so S2V leads the championship by 14 points over TTG, then CGT, then Leonis, Mentalism, F1 Friends Cup, FRL, TNR, GTZ and CPI, who finally score points this season, so they finally get their campaign underway. But that'll do it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps me out. Appreciate all the support as always. And yeah, until the next video, hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all for the next one.